total chaos. I feel like something's a little funny with my microphone. Let me do that. Okay, now we're better here.
That's better.
Friends at home, if you've been following along, Total Chaos is one of our best shows we've been doing. And now hockey season's here, so of course we have to bring this into the Total Chaos community. So I've got Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. How's it going, Nick?
It's going great. I mean, I can't believe the NHL season is here. I mean, I'm still just getting over the national championship game. The NFL is still going. I mean, it's starting at a weird time. There's now new different divisions. There's been player movement. There's so many different things. So just trying to get all caught up myself here as well.
There's a lot going on. Kurt, what about you? How's it been kind of handicapping the first games before you've seen anybody play?
It's been odd, to say the least. You know, go with your gut instinct. I got a lucky quarter here. No, it's the first game of the season, so you're kind of going off of who they brought in, and you have some teams that you kind of see what direction they're headed in. There's some teams that are like, hey, we're rebuilding. It's going to be a while, so this ahead of time. Don't expect anything.
No preseason either. So
right,
there's this. It's hard to judge anything at this point. And so, I mean, usually for handicappers, they like to see the first week of the season. And I think this year, probably more than ever, that's going to be really important. So I think good advice for everyone is just to tread lightly over the first week. Definitely. Yes.
As the Beastie Boys say, slow and low, that is the tempo. All right. So people at home, give us a like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and drop your picks into the comment box. If you're a huge hockey head and you got some plays, we would love to hear about them here on the site. So before we get started, I just because it is opening day, I want to brush through. So we know there's no preseason. We know they're not playing in a bubble, and the setup is a little bit different this year. So how's it going to go down, Nick? What are we working with right now?
So 4 major divisions. We have the Honda West. And so there is a whole Canadian division, and that is called the Scotia North, as far as the NHL.com site is concerned. And so that's Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Winnipeg. But then you have the Honda West, which is mostly of course, Western teams in the USA, the Mass Mutual East, and the Discover Central. And so that splits up the USA there.
All right.
And so, yeah, as far as the games are concerned, it's not in a bubble to begin with here. That did work really well for the NHL, like incredibly well during the NHL playoffs there last season. But there will be a lot of back-to-back games, maybe not like back-to-back on the same night, but in the same building, they're going to play twice. And that's going to happen a lot this season. So a lot of these teams, like Montreal beat Toronto last year 3 times. They played those teams played 3 times, but now this year they're going to play 10 times, and now they play tomorrow night, Montreal and Toronto. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting game, and that's going to be one of the ones we're going to be touching on here in a second, I think.
I like this. Okay, so, hey, this is what we got. This is what we're working with. We're going to find a way to make money. And I'll tell you one thing throughout college basketball this season, I have been cashing on those second games of the back-to-backs with the day between. That whole jam. I mean, you got to see them play like yesterday. What changed? You're on the same court. There was no travel. What really changed here? So I find a lot of value in these back-to-back games, and I'm sure we'll find this with hockey as the season progresses as well.
Totally agree. I was saying that to Kurt before that it started, or the show started, saying just that this will be a very interesting season to handicap. And as a situational handicapper and a motivational handicapper, just as you were saying, these types of games where you see the first one and then you get a feel for it for the second one. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for these types of situational plays this year.
To make that money, honeys.
It's interesting to see how many of these games are going to split. Like Ali said, you just played each other. What has changed, from one day to the next? But I promise you are going to see some changes where you're going to have a team that might win 6-0. And just that professional pride, I guess you could say, where the guys in the other locker rooms like, yeah, well, we'll play them again tomorrow. Let's see if they're so hot tomorrow, and you'll get a better effort. There's a lot of chirping that goes on the ice, and
having the 2 really good goaltenders. having the two really good goaltenders is always really important, but perhaps that's going to be more so this year with these style of games as well.
Oh yes, rest is going to be very important for your goaltender and how you manage. Injuries will be huge. There's like you said, a lot of situational
opportunities.
Yeah,
probably coming up.
What you say about that chirping, now it's not like we chirp in each other's ear and I'll see you again in a couple weeks. Like now I'm going to see you again tomorrow. So it almost gives me the vibe that violence, for lack of a better word, the roughness,
playoff vibe,
the ground and pound,
playoff vibe. You're seeing the same team, and it's
many times over the course of the year.
Vibe.
Yeah,
there's going to be beef. That's what I'm trying to say. There's going to be beef. Okay,
there's going to be beef, and
teams aren't going to be weaker divisions.
Teams aren't going to want to get swept either. Yeah. They're not going to go 0-2. They want to split.
Right.
It'll be hard to get a read on some teams. Some divisions will be weaker. And so the top teams in those divisions could look better than they really are. And then when the cross division play begins, then you'll see, and so that'll be a factor to take into account as well, for sure.
We'll see how it goes down. All right, people at home, if you haven't played before, you're going to want to grab a pen and paper. I'm going to go through every game on opening day. Nick and Kurt are going to tell me if they like it to go over or under. Whoever gets the most of them right gets to come back again next week and do it all again. Nick, you are currently the NBA Total Chaos champion. No one has ever held 2 titles at once before, so this is a big moment for you. All right.
Nice. I didn't even realize that I was going to ask, and so that's some confirmation there. All right, so that's a Friday night. We're going to be doing that again, or no? Is that
Thursday?
Thursday.
Night.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you beat Sean Higgs. You were 3-2. He was 1-4. So
all right,
you did a butt whooping there. That was a little butt kicking there.
Okay.
Okay, so the first game we're going to talk about is the Penguins at the Flyers. The number is 6. Nick, you go first. What do you got here?
Well, guys, last year scoring was up in the NHL, I think, quite a bit. There were some really high scoring games, really high totals. Are there going to be as many goals this year? I'm not sure. But they used to call me the Undertaker, guys, and I'm feeling like a lot of unders on this opening card. And I like Carter Hart here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is only a -115 favorite at home. I think that's a lot of public sentiment there on Pittsburgh still, that they're somehow the better team. Philadelphia had a really breakout season last year, and a lot of that was because of Hart. I'm not 100% positive that he will be in goal tomorrow night, but I'm going to take the under in this Philly-Pittsburgh game.
All right, Kurt, how do you feel about this one?
I'm jumping in the car with you. He said the guy's name, Carter Hart. You know what, Allie? Carter Hart's a shutout waiting to happen. At the end of the game, you're not really surprised to see the other team with 0 on the board when Hart's in net. That's just the way I feel. I've been following this kid for a while. They were hoping that he was going to be, this guy. For years they're like, well, they have Carter Hart. That's why they're not going after a goaltender. They're waiting to see if the Carter Hart thing's going to work out for him. And well done, Philly. Big rivalry here. These teams do not like each other. They play each other very tough. First game of the season, I expect, a low scoring game. I was telling Allie about the Winter Classic they had, how that was just, to literally the last 3 seconds of the game. It was going dead under 3-2, going under. 3 seconds left, tied up, going to overtime. Just a typical Philly, Pittsburgh Penguin game. And this game's starting early. So I'm looking at the time of this game too, thinking, well, maybe guys, athletes are like creatures of routine. Not too many NHL games are going to be on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. So I think the under's the play here.
All right, so we already agree. Friends at home, when these two agree, the consensus picks tend to be the most valuable picks on the Total Chaos shows. So you definitely want to put a little star by those ones. Don't forget, hit the bell for notifications, like and subscribe, and let us know who you're playing in these games. Up next, we have the Canadiens at the Maple Leafs. The number here is 6.5. Kurt, it's your turn. What are we doing?
Okay, the Leafs. You know, I'm not a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but that's home, you know, Mississauga, Ontario. So there's always a side of me that does cheer for the Leafs. I do want to see them do well. When Johnny Tavares decided to sign with the Leafs, the hometown team, you know, I was sitting there cheering. You know, he's from Mississauga, so I was cheering for that. They were able to get Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton's a dinosaur. He's been in since the NHL started. I like seeing him in Toronto. I think he brings a nice veteran presence. Toronto's a young team that's loaded with talent. I mean, they're loaded. They just need to work together and you know, achieve what it is that they're trying to get, which is that Stanley Cup. They have all the talent in the world. They have the goaltending. They have the scoring. I like what they're doing on defense. This game, I think that even though Montreal beat them last season, I think that this is going to be the game that Toronto wants to come out and kind of impose their will. At least I hope that that's what they're going to do. I'm going to take this one over the total. What do you think, Nick?
What do you think about it, Nick? Sorry, I had to plug my laptop in. I had to sneak out of there. All right, what do you got on this, Nick?
We are going to be opposite on this one. I'm going to go under on this one. Carey Price, Frederick Anderson, they should both be in net. We were just talking about how important it will be for teams to have a really good, I mean, it always is, but I think probably this year more. Montreal picked up a really good Jake Allen or from St. Louis, yes. Who is the
backup.
Yes. And so one interesting point here, in those losses to Montreal last year for Toronto, Anderson wasn't in net for any of those games. And so now he's back in here. These teams will see each other again after this one, I believe, as far as that playing back-to-back format. I'm going to go under in this one. And so I guess that's the first one we disagree here, Kurt.
All right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Okay, Blackhawks are at the Lightning. We got 6.5 here. What do you say, Nick?
Well, Taves is out for a little bit here for Chicago. Chicago's goaltender there from forever has retired. Tampa Bay, of course, is loaded with talent. It looks primed for another deep run. Vasilevsky is the goaltender. He's been fantastic, but an interesting note, he has like a 3.5 goals against average versus the Central. Chicago has a lot of different injuries and different things. Its goaltending isn't great. This is total opened at 6. What did you say it is now? 6.5?
6.5 is what I got.
You know what? I'm going over. I think you were talking about Toronto imposing its will. I think Tampa's going to do the same thing here. So I'm going over in that one.
What do you say, Kurt? Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm taking this game over. The teams that are rebuilding, here's one of them right now, Chicago. Like you said, Taves is out. The goaltending. I have a former Vegas Knight, Malcolm Subban, in net. He was our backup, and now he's a starter in Chicago. I think Chicago, they're staying true to the rebuild. Probably going to get some contracts off of their books. You know, be one of those teams at the trading deadline to bring in young prospects and kind of get rid of some of those older players and some of those pricier contracts. Like I said, you see what they did. They kept a backup goaltender and moved him up as their starter. So they basically didn't go out and try to bring in anybody that's going to help this team win right now, because they know this team has no chance of winning right now. I'm going to take this one over. Tampa Bay is returning the Stanley Cup championship team, like the exact same team. This one won't be close. It's Tampa Bay. Well, not Tampa Bay. It's the over in this game. Sorry, it's the over.
All right. Up next, we have the Canucks at the Oilers, not the ones from Houston, the ones from Canada. We got a number of 6. Kurt, it's your turn. What do you say here?
What did you say? What did you say? Ones from where?
I said the Oilers, not the ones from Houston, the ones from Edmonton.
Oh, right. Yes. All right. Yes, the Edmonton Oilers. Very, very good team. You have, I cannot think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank for the Oiler captain there in Draisaitl. They have 2 of the best players in the league.
Connor McDavid.
And what's that?
Connor McDavid.
Yes, Connor McDavid's a sore subject with me being a Buffalo Sabres fan from the back in the day, how we missed out on Connor McDavid. But yes, Edmonton, Congratulations, Connor McDavid. Draisaitl. You have the best 1-2 punch in the NHL. This is the best. This is the best starting lineup in the NHL, Allie. The Edmonton Oilers. The only problem is they don't have anything after these guys. So when these guys go on the bench, it drops off considerably, like a big drop. That's kind of hard for me to jump on the over with this game. I do like I said, I do like what Edmonton is doing on offense, but I think Vancouver lost a lot in the offseason. Vancouver is still a young team, even though they showed up last season. They are still a young team, and I think this one goes under that total.
All right. Rycape thinks that the Oilers are going to score plenty of points. Nick, what side are you on?
Yeah, Vancouver, it lost Jacob Markstrom, so that means Thatcher Demko is going to be battling Braden Holtby. That was the Canucks' big signing. Braden Holtby has come in. And as far as the Oilers, it's Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith, a couple veterans as well. I mean, these are players, these are goaltenders that have a lot of experience, and they could easily take over this game. They could easily be the main storylines in tomorrow's summaries. These teams are going to be playing, every team, as we said, are going to be playing a lot of each other. I'm going to lean to the under here as well.
All right.
I think that these goaltenders will be the main focal point for tomorrow. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I like it. We agree. Again, we've only got one more to go. Before we get to it, friends at home, like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Like I said, there's 4 total chaoses all week. We're looking to do them 7 days if we could, but we've got NHL, college basketballs tomorrow, NBA the next night, and NFL on Friday. So we're always doing total chaoses. Free pick videos. Live cap is on tomorrow. I think we should talk hockey on the live cap tomorrow since it's you two guys,
right.
And it is opening day. So we'll just carry this combo over 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. If you guys want to talk some hockey, come meet us up. That's why you got to hit your bell for notifications. So that way it'll pop up on your little thing and you'll be like, oh, it's hockey time. Boop. Done deal. Okay, we have one more to go and then we'll do a quick recap. We're talking the Blues at the Avalanche. It's 5.5. Nick, I think you're up first, aren't you?
Yeah. So Colorado is predicted to do really well this year. It did really well last year. It was like one of the, I think it was the highest scoring team in the league. Nathan McKinnon, he had 35 goals, 93 points. The Blues, though, are no slouches. Rylan O'Reilly, he had 61 points. Their top 3 scorers are back in St. Louis. Guys, I think that these two teams, they're going to push the pace here, even though they got some pretty good goaltenders. But I like the over here.
All right, Kurt, are you getting in the car? Are you getting out of the car? What's up? Did you lose your keys?
I'm not getting in the car. I do like the pick. I want to get in the car. That's the thing, Nick. I want to get out in the car. Like, you have the door open and you made some really strong points, and I agree. But first game of the season, and you spoke up on these goaltenders. The St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago because of their goaltender. This guy they brought up from the minors who just shut down the NHL. Got Grubauer on the Colorado side. I think Colorado didn't have a healthy goaltender during the playoffs, and that really affected them. That's why they got knocked out, and that's why you saw a lot of these high-scoring games with Colorado. Yes, they do have a very high-scoring offense. When you look at these two teams, you have stars on both sides. They could both put up points. We've seen a couple 6s already on the board. I would have put this game at a 6 just because Colorado is playing. Because it's not at a 6, it makes me think the under, and that's the only reason I'm thinking the under is that they didn't move that total up high enough for me to think that it had a chance of going over. So I'm definitely taking this one under the total.
Well, we can't agree on every single game and have a winner at the end of our total chaos, can we? So there you go.
Nope, we can't. Then I'm going to have to make you guys pick scores. Yeah, then you got to pick a score.
Right.
Price is right rules.
I see.
Closest without going over. That's how it works.
Got it.
All right. Rycave says that the West Division stinks.
The West Division. Let's take a quick look at the West.
Oh, it does. You have the Knights.
Vegas, Blues, Sharks.
Yeah.
Wild, Kings, Avalanche, Coyotes, and Ducks. I mean, that doesn't stink. That's pretty strong. St. Louis, Vegas. You think that there's going to be a big decline?
Saying no.
No, I agree with the stinky West Division.
Colorado.
And I think Anaheim's going to be bad. I think the Kings are going to be bad.
Right, that's true.
I think
Arizona
the Wild
is
are
going to be bad. Yeah.
Well, we don't know because this division, it's changed. So maybe in our regular, normal NHL, they would have been bad. But now in this division
That's
where
true.
they aren't going to face quality teams, they'll be facing mediocre teams such as themselves where somebody will rise.
Very true.
There you have it. All right, guys. Well, we are going to talk a lot more hockey tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the Picks and Parlays live cap. I'll have Nick here. I'll have Kurt here, and they can teach me a little bit of hockey and give you guys some more free picks on opening day. Real quick, we're going to recap the 3 that you guys agreed on were the Penguins going under 6, the Blackhawks going over 6.5, and the Canucks going under the 6. On the Canadians and the Blues, you guys went either way, so that's your call, friends at home. Picks and Parlays, you crew. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. That was fun. I'm excited about opening day here, and we'll talk a lot more about it tomorrow.
Thanks, Ellie. Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, Ellie. Thanks, Nick.
Okay. All right.
All right.